one of the hardest things for me, age-wise, when I realized that my little brother was 50. Can't turn 50. Then I realized he was 60. Can't turn 60. But he's still doing stuff like that. I want to thank you for coming to this. We kind of introduced the show here. The thing we're doing is I'm going to try to avoid mentioning, I don't know if anybody else is like me, but if we mention our family name, half the people in here, if they see a video, they'll have the maiden name of half the people in here. So I'm calling it the Cousins Comedy Superlatives. And if you forget, that's okay, but I'm not going to mention our family name. So that's the way the show format is. And I want to introduce our host for this afternoon. Our host is Wess. Wess Ooms.
Thank you, Luke. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, actually. Just goes to show you never show up to a family reunion comedy show early. Get the list. So we've got a number of folks who are going to display their hidden talents. Some more hidden than others, I'm sure. And we're going to start by having from Phoenix, Arizona, from Phoenix, America's favorite old man, Arizona Lou. Hey!
Thank you, Wes. You may notice me, you may know me from my previous appearances up here 2 minutes ago. Or up at the dining room this morning begging people to come and participate in the show. You may know me from my future appearances in a nearby Walmart parking lot. And also, I'll be appearing tomorrow night in Cleveland, the next night in Pittsburgh, and the next night in Washington, D.C. And you can Google Arizona Lou, and you'll find this information on my comedy webpage, so check it out. I came up with Arizona Lou to avoid confusion on my travels. And I'm pretty old, and when I was young, I went by Territory Lou. Now, you see, until 1812, Arizona was a territory. I knew I'd have to explain it to Canadians, but not to you guys. Before that, I went by Caveman Lou. And before that, I went by Ditch Lou. Which nobody's laughing, and I don't blame you, because the ditch was real small. Then when it grew into a big ditch, I went by Grand Canyon Lou. I want to invite everybody, my friends that came to support me tonight, all 111 of you, just a minute. I think those may be tally marks, or maybe Roman numerals. I want to thank all the South Branch that came in and supported me today, all 3 of you. If I'm lucky, I remember what I want to say this afternoon. If you're lucky, I'll forget. And we go on to the people that are really funny instead of me.
Oh my goodness.
Old people forget a lot and get lost. And actually, I got lost here with my GPS receiver. Anybody know what that stands for? I forgot. See, I told you. I think it stands for geezer, plain, and stupid. Stupid like thinking I can stand up here and be funny. I didn't do a whole lot of research for this, but I didn't know where to begin for the Cousins family reunion. So I figured that looking at this group, I don't have to look far before I find funny. And when I was a kid, I was real narrow-minded, and I thought it was sinful to laugh too hard or too much.
No way, right?
He doesn't, he's a preacher. And he's not the only one. Oh, I'm not supposed to wear a hat, I'm supposed to be able to see my eyes. What about that? Anyway. And I thought it was sinful to hang around in places I hang around now. Also, I thought it was terrible to hang around people like me. Speaking of people and people who are funny, it's time to go back to Wess, and he will tell you what surprises you have up here. Let's hear it for Wess.
All right, Carol Cameron's going to come and share.
Everybody else can't see. All right. Well, I'm not supposed to be first, but I guess I wasn't first. You're second. I'm second. Third. Yeah.
They're not Roman numerals either.
No. They're real. All right. Just do whatever I was going to do. You gonna sing? Tell her a story. Okay. This is a story that really happened.
Closer, Mommy.
Oh, this is a story that really happened. And when Steve and I had first gotten married, we grew up in Illinois and met at Greenville College. And one summer, we were both working in Springfield, Illinois, which is the state capital, not Chicago. But anyway, so Steve was working at the Bureau of Budget, I think, and worked there at the Capitol building. And so I got a job at Little People's Arts and Talent Center. And
Is that a joke?
cute name? Yeah, that's my first joke. A cute name for a daycare center. But anyway, I thought I knew everything about taking care of kids because I enjoyed it, and everybody was a babysitter back in my day. But anyway, so there I was. I went to the Little People's Arts and Talent Center, and I was really not the main teacher of this 3-year-old class of 3-year-olds. But it was a Friday, and I showed up, and the director said, "Oh, I'm glad to hear the teacher is sick today, and your class is going to the Illinois State Museum for a field trip." And I said, "Oh, okay, great." And I didn't think much about it. I just thought, we'll probably have fun. so anyway, she goes, "Well, I said, who's going with us?" Because we had 12 kids in every class. And she said, "Well, can't you just take them in the van?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." So I'm thinking, yeah, I can do that. So I just said I would. So anyways, we just started out to the parking lot, and I tried to load them all up, and that was hard. I did it. And so we're in this van with no seatbelts, and all the windows were down, but it was a rainy day, and this little girl named Amy with beautiful long black hair, but it was in braids, she tells me as she's getting on the van that she didn't feel good, and I said, "You'll be fine." So she gets on the van, and I get up in the driver's seat, and I just start driving into the town because it was right by the Capitol building. So I started driving, and they weren't staying in their seats, there weren't seatbelts or anything, and so I'm trying to be careful in driving. Okay, so anyway, we get there, and I hear all this, ooh, ooh, and Amy, who was tried to tell me she didn't feel good, threw up in the van, and she had her black braids were pink with medicine, right? You know, that really delicious pink stuff. So anyways, and so all the kids were going, ew, because I had told them we were going to hold hands and go buddy style into the Illinois State Museum. And perfect place to take, there were only 11, 3-year-olds. So anyways, I said, I will hold Amy's hand. So anyways, so I'm getting them out of the van and saying, hold his hand, hold her hand, hold her hand. And then I have Amy, and so we go, and we're walking through the parking lot, and then up these stairs. Museums always have lots of stairs, and so we're going up all these stairs, and we get up there, and I said, okay, everyone stay right here. I'm going to go in and wash Amy off. And so I just left all those kids in that beautiful front hallway of the Illinois State Museum on the marble floor, and I just went in, and there were doors on that bathroom, you just go in. So as I go in with Amy, I hear, hey, come back here, hey, get off of that. All right, no, stand over there. You know, and all this ruckus out there that I'm washing Amy off and trying to get her hair clean and everything. And so we come out, and the kids have just like run all over the place, and these guards are like, hey, come back over here. So I went up to the check-in place, and I said, hi, I'm Carol Cameron, and I'm from the Little People's Arts and Talent Center, and my class has a field trip here today. And what do we do? And they said, well, you just walk around and look at the stuff. And so no one was going to help me again or take us anywhere. So we're walking around in this museum that was, you know, way over their heads in every way, shape, and form. But anyway, so trying to keep them together. And then we came to an escalator because there was a second story to the Illinois State Museum. So I said, everybody buddy up. So I am standing, here's the escalator, and I said, okay, you two. And I put them on. And I put them on. And about the third or fourth couple that I'm putting on, I noticed they look like this. And I am hearing in my left ear this, so I'm like, okay, come on. So I look up, and at the top of the escalator, no one has gotten off because they're three. So no one has gotten off. All the kids, and they're up there. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, lighting up through all these children that are going up the escalator, and then I'm at the top of the escalator. I'm like, come on, get up. I'm throwing them into the hallway, you know, as quick as I can, and they're all crying and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. And so anyway, so we go around. I look up. There's a camera, and it's like me. You know, like the guards are watching everything we're doing. So anyway, so I said, okay, look around. Let's go. So we go out, and it's Illinois. It's summertime. It's hot. It's muggy. We had the windows up, and Amy had thrown up in the van. So when we opened the van, and as I was walking across, we were clearing puddles because it had poured rain. But anyway, and I look up and I see the Capitol dome, and I just yell, Steve, help me! And he didn't help me. Anyway, so I just got him in the van, and as we opened the door, this smell came out of the van, and it smelled like warm, you know, sick. But anyway, so we had to ride in that van, and we just rode back to the Little People's Arts and Talent Center, and it was awful.
Next, everybody's not there, I think. Charlotte Harris is going to come in. Yes, ma'am. You're right, Charlotte.
He came to our table and said he needed comedians, and we all said, hey, go look at somebody else's table. And he said, don't you know any stories to tell? And I said, I don't know any funny things, just stuff that happened a long time ago. Like what? He said. And I said, like blotters. And he goes, blotters? And then he said, I had to tell the story of blotters. So here I am. Okay, in the days before delete buttons, in the days before whiteouts, remember the whiteout? We typed the wrong letter and we had this bottle of whiteout. In the day before whiteout, when I was a schoolgirl, but even after the time there were inkwells in the desk and the boys would put the girls' pigtails in the inkwell and dipped your pen in the inkwell and wrote, after those days, when I went to school, we had things called blotters. And after we got to be learning how to use a pen and pencil, and we got like 4th grade or 5th grade, we could start using fountain pens. And when the fountain pens wrote, the ink was fresh on the page. So there was this thing called a blotter, and it was a wonderful design gadget. And it was about the size of a 4x6 card. And on the side would be some business advertising. And on the other side would be like a kind of a felt absorbent side to the card. And you would write with your new fancy fountain ink pen that had a cartridge of real ink, liquid ink inside it. But when the ink would go on your page, it would smear real easy because it was so wet. And you didn't want, the 4th grader or even adults rubbing their arm on it because it would all smear and take quite a while to dry. So we had these lovely blotters. But there was a technique to using blotters. You couldn't just swoop the page like this and dry it off because it would smear everything. And so you put the blotter down, raise it straight up. You had to learn how to use them. And straight down and straight up. And then that ink would just absorb into the blotter, and you had a lovely page of handwriting. Wasn't